Segment 103. What's up, y'all? What it do? What it do? What it do? Hopefully, y'all are doing well. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Just want to get all these platforms up real quick. We're on multiple platforms. Shout out to wherever you're joining from. We're on 5 different platforms tonight. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to YouTube, Facebook, Riff, Rumble. Y'all ain't figured it out, y'all. We ain't on TikTok tonight. What's up, family? Hope y'all having a amazing week. Hope everything y'all done set out to do, y'all done got accomplished, and y'all on y'all grind, because that's what it's about, right? So while we on multiple platforms here tonight, um, I guess I need to start by saying, for those people that aren't asking me, um, I was on TikTok earlier, and I guess I said the wrong thing. They ain't like what I said, so they kind of kicked me. So a lot of times what I see is I see a lot of people, they get upset when they get kicked off a platform, right? And I didn't get kicked off. I got, you know, removed for a day or two. I don't know. But I'm one of those people that believe that you don't complain about being in somebody else's house and following their rules. You just follow their rules. And if you're not going to follow their rules, don't go to their house. It's simple. Now, for those of you that don't know me and you're kind of wondering, I go by Zabo 103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and information that you would normally pay for. If I know it, you're getting it for free. It's really that simple. The only thing that I would say you need to do when you're on my live is have an open mind. There are a lot of things that I talk about on these live platforms for free that you probably ain't never heard of before. And some of this stuff will be so unreal sometimes that you will doubt it. So I would advise you, once you come in with this open mind, think a little bit, do a little research, and then take some action. I promise you, if you find out that these things that I'm talking about is legit, I promise you your future self will thank you. So I was telling people earlier today, and I don't want to talk too much about it because what's up, family? I don't know if that's the reason why I got, booted for a couple of days on that other platform. Um, I was telling people I'm on day 4 of a water fast. So all I've been doing for the last 4 days is drinking water. That's it. I can tell you, for those people that are curious about about doing a water fast and you're scared, the first couple of few, I'm gonna say the first 2 days, if you notice, I ain't been live because I was hangry, hungry and angry, but I fought through it, y'all. It was what it was. I'm trying to make sure that I stick to what I say I'm gonna do. And now I said I was only gonna do it for 3 days. On yesterday, I decided to take another day. And I said, I'm just going to go day by day and see how long I can go with it. Now, the reason why I'm doing it is not for some type of manifestation or nothing like that. It's really just, I know it has good benefits to it, right? But I said I was going to do something and I just wanted to do it. I will tell you the clarity that I've received over these last now 4 days of just drinking water only. And when I say only water, y'all, I'm not talking about sneaking some snacks and some food. None of that. Just straight water. It's unreal, y'all. Things that would kind of like get on my nerves a little bit. And I'm not gonna say get on my nerves, but just a little head scratcher. Ain't even a head scratcher no more. And I don't think it's some magic thing that happened, other than I think some of the electricity in my brain is firing a little bit faster, a little bit sharper. I'm not telling you to go out and do a water fast either. Here's what I'm saying. Life is not as complicated as we think. It's not. It's actually, if you apply the appropriate things, can be the easiest thing you ever seen in your life. I'm seeing things that I should have seen long time ago, y'all, and this stuff is wild to me. Had a conversation with my CPA today, because we have that random, periodic meeting. You know how we do. Especially y'all, for those that in business, you know how the third quarter is, right? You're trying to get an understanding. And some of the things that I never knew why I was doing certain things, but I was doing it because it made sense. Now it makes all the sense in the world. A lot of people always are concerned when you talk business or whatever it is to them about taxes. Don't say too much. The IRS gonna come get you. Why are they gonna come get you if you paying your taxes, y'all? If they say you owe some, you pay it, right? What happens though if you decided on your business, you running it the way you run it, you got an employee or two, and you're an employee yourself, and you pay yourself a salary, right? Let's say you pay yourself $25,000 a year because that's the amount that you can afford to pay. But that little $25,000 ain't doing that for you for real in your life because you got all these other things that you got going on. What happens if you retarget that whole $25,000 and instead of you getting money to go and spend on nonsense, every pay period, that whole $25,000 directing it to your federal tax, meaning it's coming out every pay period. I hope you just heard me. Now that's gonna be minus, if you got yourself on a 401k or some medical insurance, your health insurance, that's minus that stuff. But what happens when you repurpose that whole 25,000 to your federal tax? So when it's time for you to file your taxes the next year, let's say your taxes would have came out, you made, I don't know, $100,000 on your business. And after you done expensed everything down, the tax bill showed that you owe, tax bill that you're being taxed on, say it was $60,000. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, on that $60,000, I'm being extreme, $24,000 was supposed to be what your tax bill is going to be. Well, if you were given all your money that you were getting in your check, 25 grand, to Mr. Sam, guess what that's coming off of, y'all? Not only are you going to get that $25,000 credit, so your business ain't going to have to pay no taxes because it already got paid. Get it? You also got $1,000 left over. Ain't that crazy? But you also going to get that employee tax too. You know, that tax credit that for you having employees. Sound like another benefit. You also gonna get that other benefit right now. I don't know if it's gonna change in the future. Maybe it will, but for right now, you're gonna get that other credit for that health insurance that you got for your employees. You gotta have at least three though. Why am I sharing this stuff tonight, y'all? Because I realized that people really just don't know things. And it's not because they don't want to know things, it's simply because they don't even know where to look. They don't even know where to start. So tonight, what I want to talk about is simply you being curious and becoming obsessively curious on how you need to build wealth. Whatever you do in your life is what you do in your life. Whatever you figure you want your life to be is going to be what you want your life to be. But I cannot stress to you enough how much you need to get obsessively curious on how you can build wealth for your bloodline. There ain't a course that gonna teach you this, y'all. In fact, I'm not gonna say there ain't a course that ain't gonna teach y'all this, because one of the things that I'm doing right now, and I put it into motion, it was the other day. I put into motion a course that's gonna show people exactly how I built wealth. And you're gonna pay for it. Unfortunately. Even though I'm still gonna be going live giving it to you for free. And the reason why I'm saying it is simply because of this. People always feel like if it's free, it ain't worth nothing. And what people don't understand is for the last 91 weeks straight, I've been giving it to you for free. Some people have made decisions using information that I didn't gave them that has started to change their life. But right now, what's up, family? Right now, most people are asking me the same thing every day. Do you have this somewhere where you can, where I can, read over it, or where I can view the stuff, or where I can buy something from you? People want to buy this stuff. So what am I saying? I'm gonna give it to you both ways. Period. You figure out which way works for you. Either way, it ain't gonna matter to me, because the reality of it is, it ain't never been how I made my money. Yeah, they were wilding on me, MC. They really was. I was like, what just happened? What did I say? And played back, as I played back the conversation, I think what happened was some of the comments that I were reading was against community guidelines, so I shouldn't have read them out loud. And that's the part where I was like, I was only reading them out loud so I can debunk what they were saying. So I said to myself, hey, it is what it is, right? But it blows my mind that I have, and please, if you're gonna get offended right now, I promise y'all, I'm not the platform you want, because I'm the person that's gonna tell you the truth. The truth will never be considered disrespect, and I'm just gonna say this out loud. It is what it is, y'all. This is not how I make my money, y'all. What does that mean? It doesn't matter if I'm here or not. You get it? Me coming on here to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes live, I can just do that by posting and just make all random memes. Think about that for a second. I can do that just doing random memes and still get the credit. I go the extra step because I was always told when you have followers, you got to lead them somewhere. That's the real truth. If I wanted to make money off of this, I can upload this stuff to ASCAP, BMI, and DistroKid and start getting a publishing check. I ain't even gotta go live. I can just pre-record it, upload them in less than 10-minute bites, sweet spot, 3 minutes apiece. Upload my 3-hour lives in 3-minute increments to ASCAP, BMI, and DistroKid and get a publishing check while y'all still streaming for free and never be live. But I always said to myself, how can I put things out there so people won't fall into some of the same traps that I fell into in real time? So they know they're talking to a real person. I lost $90,000 to a coach when I started conducting business almost 9 years ago. That coach didn't take my money. They didn't finesse me. I gave it to them. Think about what I just said. You have given your money to people hoping to get this return on your investment. And not only are you not getting a return on your investment, you're not getting a return on your energy either. What does all this mean? Why is this stuff important? Because I know you tired of being in your rat race. For those of you that are off work right now, should be every coast. If you get off at 5 o'clock, some people work later than that. I get it. But all my 9 to 5ers, you should be off work on every coast. Ain't you tired of getting going through the same routine every day? Hustling for a weekend? You got to be in bed at a certain time because you got to get up at 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning to fight traffic to go to work for somebody else's last name that's giving you a fraction of what you giving them. You collecting money from them every single day, and they giving you a fraction of it back. And then in your performance review, you got to tap dance and beg on how you perform so well. Forget all the money I done gave you. Think. Stop fighting for other people's last name and start fighting for your own. And maybe that's too much for social media for me to be talking about. Because the reality of it is, I'm coming from a place of love. I'm not punching down. Everybody's welcome. I'm really just showing love. This is why the wealthy people get this saying to them all the time. And poor people are the one that's saying it. Wealthy people want to gatekeep. Well, that's not true. The truth is, you can't speak the truth to people. That's the real truth. If you haven't figured it out yet, you can't speak the truth to people. I had a young man, it's about 3, 4 days ago, I was live, and he was trying to educate me on his education on how to become financially free. Why he's not financially free and I am. I want to make this make sense. I really want to make this make sense. I'm trying to really make this make sense. He was trying to explain to me based off of his degrees why he can educate me on how to become financially free while he was chatting with me back and forth while he was at work and I'm at home all day. Make this make sense, y'all. What type of world do we live in? Well, we done got to a place where we're listening to these professionals that's only trying to sell you a product. If we're being honest, we're listening to these people that don't got a clue. I was and he just started following me too. I got to tap in with him. He was a mortgage, an independent mortgage broker. That was his name. Shout out to him. I think he needed 1,000 followers. I think he was like 900 and change, but he needed 1,000 followers. And he was explaining to me. He was saying something about. I think he said, and I thought it was kind of catchy what he said. Cash is king, credit is queen, and interest is lazy. And I was like, I don't even know I don't know what that means. And I think he was coming from a good place, y'all, honestly, right? But in my mind, it was a little bit of a head scratcher. So when I asked him, I had to ask the question. I asked him, how many hours a week do you work? And he said something very shocking to me. He said he worked 35 hours a week. I thought that was amazing because most people that do that type of business, they work in 60 hours. Easy. He said he worked 35 hours a week. I said, that's beautiful. But I gotta say something, right? For the full year so far, from January the 1st, all the way to July the 16th, 2024, I've worked 0 hours. You're telling me if you can get your income that you get right now for whatever it is that you're doing, and you don't have to work them 35 hours, would that be better or would that be worse? Oh, wait. I might know something different. Last year, for the full fiscal year of 2023, I worked 57 hours. And that was a fail for me because the goal is to work zero. I'm trying to take all my time and give it back to the people that I care about and love the most. Who cares about all this other stuff? You telling me that we just got off a business trip, me and 7 employees, me, my wife, my kids, from Cabo, Los Cabos, in a 6,300 square foot penthouse. Y'all saw me live there. I'm not working in real. We went on a business trip. We were looking at some penthouses that were for sale. We were looking at land, shopping that out. But that wouldn't work, y'all. We got some contents on the camels. We got some content on the UTVs. Got some content with the dolphins. Think. It just happened to be during the 4th of July. I might know something different, y'all. That's not a flex. That's not a brag. What it is you got to think because you know something different too. And the reason why you know something different is you're going to work, getting the real life experience firsthand from your job, but you're not paying attention. The only thing you got to do is replace your job with yourself. You are the product. And the minute you realize that you're the product, man, life gonna change. Life gonna change. Because in your mind, you're gonna understand that wealthy people don't have money, they have time. Why do they have time? Because they trade their money for time. Poor people trade their time for money, aka you an employee. I got my own business, so I'm not an employee. Are you going in taking time to make money? If the answer is yes, you just a glorified supervisor. You still an employee. Wealthy people pay you for your time. You go clock in. When you clock in, you getting paid for your time. One of the quickest ways to get unemployed at your job is stealing time. If you steal time, you might, there's a 99.99% chance you're going to lose your job. Why? Because wealthy people pay for time. And if you're not giving them your time, they don't want to pay you. Think. This stuff ain't that complicated, y'all. And I get why we do this because when I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, I promise y'all, I used to think this same way. I did it for 20 years and then it clicked. And before somebody say, you got to start from somewhere, sure, but you don't have to start where you started. If I went through it and I'm expressing it to you so you can understand it, why do you want to start there? It's an excuse for you not to do what you're doing or what you're supposed to do. And if that's the case, that's okay. We need more consumers. We need you. My family thanks you 100%. That's the truth. But nobody hears this stuff. I was going down a 10-year plan on how you get out of your rat race from paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money you make. And as I was going down this list of things, people were telling me all these different things. Well, you can't, I don't know if you can do that. You're right. You don't know. I do know this. It's something I've done. I can't, like, I'm not explaining something that I ain't actually done and I ain't showed y'all. It'll be different if you're not seeing these things I'm talking about. I'm showing it to you. There's only so much of an illusion that somebody that ain't really doing what they say they doing, they can do. That's the truth, y'all. I'm gonna say that again. There's only so much of an illusion that a person can create for you if they're really not doing what they're telling you they're doing. That's really the truth. They can't fake it. But for so long, How many times you done seen these people on social media telling they making $80,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever they tell you they making. And every time they go live, they in the same place, just like this. They can't move out their spot. They can't do nothing because what's in their frame is only thing they can show you that creates the illusion. Most of the time when they go live, they lives is like this, looking at the freaking ceiling. Why is that, y'all? Unless they done rented them a nice, luxury vehicle from Turo, or they done rented out an Airbnb for the day and they back in the pool on the front for you. It ain't real, y'all. Think about that for a second. I've been going live for the last 91 weeks straight. You didn't see me at my bar. You didn't see me at the pool, in the pool room, the game room. You see me in the movie theater. You didn't see me in the gym. You didn't see me in my office. You didn't see me everywhere. Consistently. Think about what I just said. That's not the flex though, y'all. Here's the flex. I go live so sporadic, intentionally, to show you I ain't working no well. Because the flex is this. The flex is I'm able to spend time with my kids all day, every day. I'm able to spend time with my wife all day, every day. I hear all these gurus saying this stuff, but if you're doing all this work and making all this money, when do you get time to spend with the people you say you care about and love the most? I'm listening. If you working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, you spending more time with the people that you work with than the people in your house. That's the true definition of all money ain't good money, y'all. At least it is for me. And I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, I like getting up every day when I want to. I like the fact that I don't have to break out in highs because I got to fight traffic. I like the fact that I ain't got to ask daddy for PTO. I like the fact that I ain't got to ask daddy, can I take off sick because one of my kids sick? Well, you only got half a sick day left. Well, let me take that half a sick day and give me a half occurrence. I like the fact that I can just move how I want to move. And I ain't got to worry about being late 5 times in a row in 12 months and don't have a job. I can't be late 30 minutes. I done gave y'all 20 years. Make this make sense, y'all. Because this is what we trying to make sense out of. I can't leave here because I got some amazing benefit. Meanwhile, medical, dental, and vision coming out of your paycheck every pay period. You pay for it. Make this make sense, y'all. But people don't hear this stuff. People don't hear this at all. You think because you got a title, it means something. You're 30 days from being homeless. If you lose your job and you don't find a job within 30 days, meaning you ain't getting a paycheck for 30 days, you're 30 days from being homeless. Y'all got to forgive me a little bit. I got a lot of energy. They say if you don't eat food, you gonna have low energy. I got a lot of energy, y'all. So don't feel like I'm coming at you some type of way. I'm really not. I ain't trying to preach to you, and I ain't trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you because the reality of it is, with that new law that was just passed, it's against the law to be homeless. They locking you up and giving you a fine. Imagine you homeless and you get locked up. I get it. You got food, you got water, and you got shelter, and you got clothes on your back. Those are the 4 things you need. They make sure you have that if you get locked up. But you gonna find me? Well, the reason why I'm homeless is because I ain't got no money. Right? Well, let me not say that. Because the real reality of it is, if you went out and bought yourself some land and you ran out on some hard times, say you went out and bought you 10, 15, 20 acres, and you ran out on some hard times and you lost everything. Now, the only thing you got left is your piece of your car, a tent. What do? You can at least go live on your land and not be locked up 100%. And you can find ways to make money off of your land because you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. I ain't talking about selling your land. I'm talking about making money off of the land. You living off of the land. Y'all heard this saying before? You thought it was a myth when they told you, hey, you should live off the land. 100%. The scary part right now is you're living off of the land right now. It's just not yours. You just don't own it. If you owned your own land, you truly still can live off your land because everything you did today came from somebody's land. The clothes that's on your back came from somebody's land, y'all. 100%. Them fields that are out there came from somebody's land, y'all. That steak you had came from somebody's land, boys and girls. You don't eat meat. Them vegetables you ate came from somebody's land, boys and girls. That water that you drinking came from somebody's well. You think it's somebody's mountain. It's still from somebody's land, y'all. Make this stuff make sense. So what am I saying? You're sick and tired of being in your rat race. I know you are. You show it every day. When you have to get up in the morning and go to work, and you mad that it's Monday. I see people posting all day, man, I can't believe it's Monday. I got to go back to work. They dreading it, but they feel like they don't have a choice. That sucks. And that's the truth. It 100% sucks. What does that mean? What can you do? Well, I can tell you for starters, you can start thinking. Once you done thought long enough about what it is you want to do with your life and where you want to be, start doing some research, y'all. And after you done some research, start taking some action. As you're thinking and doing your research, right before you about ready to start taking action, go back to thinking for 30 seconds and say, what did my great, 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 great grandparents do? Before they start bartering money, they were bartering other things, right? But most of our great, 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 great grandparents, you know what they did? They found them a piece of land and they called it their own. They built shelter. They were seamstress and tailors. They made their clothes from their land. And they grew and hunt for their food. Imagine that. And they did one other thing. They did a fifth thing that I don't ever talk about because I don't want these platforms to be on me. But they protected their land by any means necessary. Imagine in 2024, if you went out and you found a way to always have food, water, shelter, clothes on your back. If you found a way to always have these four things, nothing else matters, y'all. I don't care if you want to stunt for the gram. I don't care if you want to go viral on YouTube or Facebook. Don't none of that stuff matter, y'all. None of it. And that's what's crazy about what I share on social media. You can really figure out in a blink of an eye how to really change your life by making different decisions, not choices, decisions. That's what's really wild about this. So I share this thing all the time about this 10-year process, and we go through it all the time. And I always talk about this 10-year time frame realistically, you'll be able to be in a position to where you never have to work for anybody else for the rest of your life. I really mean that, y'all. And it's not so much, well, it is so much that, but it's not only that you won't be able to work for you won't have to work for nobody for the rest of your life. Mentally, you won't be able to. Your mind won't allow it because you will know better. And when you know better, you're going to have to do better. You ain't gonna have a choice. When I finally wrapped my brain around when I was at Bank of America, generating them $720 million a year, $60 million a month, and we could not miss that number because we missed that number that first month, somebody on the production floor was going on performance management. If we missed it 3 months, one of their managers was going on performance management. If we missed it 6 months in a row, one of their managers was going on performance management. If we missed it 9 months, I ain't have no job. I was there for 20 years, y'all. But that ain't the scary part that'll make you feel the way I feel right now. And why you would never go, you could mentally work for nobody else. We were generating $720 million a year for the bank. And all of our salaries, 459 employees that I led the efforts of directly and indirectly, our salary every year went even $5 million. I'm going to say that again. We were generating $720 million a year for the bank. And our salary collectively wasn't even $5 million. Make that make sense? No, like really make that make sense. And we asked people that didn't make a lot of money at all, y'all. Think. But there's 459 people, including myself, making it 460 people. We were generating $720 million a year. So you telling me I can do this for the bank, but I can't do it for myself? You telling me what you do for your job right now, you're telling me you can't do it for yourself. Why not? You're doing it for them. You can't do it for yourself because you're scared. You can't do it for yourself because mentally you've been told your whole life you only can do something like that for somebody else. And that sucks. Your whole life you done went through doing all the lead work and giving everybody else the credit. You don't believe me? It's ingrained in us. It ain't ingrained in me no more. It ain't ingrained in my kids because I'm training them a different way. But I want you to think about this. Put a me in the chat if you have kids. I want to show y'all something. Put a me in the chat if you have kids. And I know this ain't gonna apply to everybody, but I just want to see something. If you have kids or a child, nephew or niece, it don't matter. Put a me in the chat. I want to see something. Got some me's over here. I bet on that. My Instagram family. Okay, we got a me over there. What's up, Doc? Got a me over there. All right, bet. Watch this. You know when your kids would say, let's say 4, maybe 5. How many people that have kids bust they butt all year, and at the end of the year in December, they go buy this thing called a Christmas tree, and they put gifts up under this tree, and they told their kids Santa Claus brought it. You got a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, I don't know. How many people told their kids that? I know that's what I was told when I was a kid. Santa Claus did it. My mom bust her butt. Remember, my mom was on drugs from when I was 3 years old till I was 16. God rest her soul. She got clean for the last 50 years of her life. She still was telling us Santa Claus brought the gifts. And she did whatever she had to do to get gifts up under that tree. Think. You've been going to work 40, 50 hours a week and you done told your kids Santa Claus and you gave Santa Claus the credit. Imagine that. You the one did the lead work and you gave Santa Claus the credit. Okay, you don't believe in all that. I get it. All right, bet. Okay. When your kid turned, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, and they started losing their teeth. Put your teeth up under your pillow before you go to bed, and the tooth fairy gonna come and leave you some money. You mean to tell me you done went to work 40, 50 hours a week, your kid done lost their teeth, you done put the money up under their pillow, and you gave the tooth fairy the credit? You'll have people go off on you. Don't tell my kids Santa Claus ain't real. Don't tell my kids the tooth fairy. Why you want to lie to your kids? The truth is the truth. They only know what you trained them. They only know how you raised them. How does that translate in real life? Well, Let's use yourself for an example. You went to school as an adolescent, elementary school. You had to be at school for the most part at what, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. You in class for a couple of hours. Then your school give you a little breathe, a little break, get the wiggles out. Around noon, they tell you it's lunchtime. You had breakfast when you first got there because that's the most important meal of the day. Breakfast just you breaking fast, breakfast, break fast. Don't matter when it is. But that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't getting on that. I'll let my wife talk about that. But they told you when to go to lunch. And when you was in elementary school, they not only told you that, when before you got out of school, I know when I was a kid, they probably don't do it to these kids these days, right? They told them, go home, do your homework, make sure you get you a nice dinner and get to bed at a reasonable time so you can get up and be fresh for tomorrow. Ready to work at school, get your work done so you can be alert and you're not so tired. That's what they told you in elementary school. You got to middle school, what did they tell you? The same thing. When you got to high school, what did they tell you? The same thing. But they added something you got to high school. You got to go to college and get a good education so you can get a good job when you leave school. We gonna give you this $100,000 loan, student loan, but I ain't giving you no $100,000 business loan. Make that make sense? You got to college. What happens in that cafeteria first thing in the morning? You break your fast. What you breaking your fast with? Cereal, milk. Have you ever looked at the back of the box of cereal milks and looked at how many carbs and sugar in it that you breaking your fast with, spiking your insulin? Again, I ain't gonna get into that. I'll let my wife talk about that. What's up, family? Think. You go to class, you get a break in between your college class, you go to another class, you get another break in between class. At 12 o'clock, guess what's happening, boys and girls? They telling you to go to lunch. I can't make that up. I ain't never been to college, so I don't know y'all. Y'all can tell me I could be wrong. By the time you get off your last class, what you doing? You doing a lot of work when you get off homework. But you can't stay up all night. You got class in the morning. You graduate from college. Magna cum laude. You graduated top of your class. And you go into the workforce. You got this $100,000 student loan. Where's this job making 100 grand a year? Every job coming out entry level. If you making $65,000 a year, hey, that's a blessing. The math ain't mathing already. When you get to work, what they tell you doing orientation. You don't pay attention. You don't read the employee handbook. What they tell you doing orientation. Work starts at 8 o'clock. We do give a 5 minute grace, but that's about it. It's best to be here on time, y'all. 8 o'clock is when we start. You'll get your first 15-minute break at 10 o'clock. Lunchtime is at 12, people. Be back in 1 hour. Don't be late from lunch or break. You'll get your last break around 3, and we leave for 5 o'clock. You're grown. We don't have to tell you what to do when you get off work, but make sure you're on time in the morning, AKA go home and get a good night's sleep so you can be ready to work tomorrow. You've been told this your whole life. So what do? You work and you chase a title. You work and you chase a dream. You work and chase this money. I'm saving money. And one day I'm going to have enough to retire and I can live the life that I want to live at 65. That's the dream. Listen, people. There's nothing wrong with going to school, y'all. There's nothing wrong with getting a degree. It's a blessing. It really is. But the way you get your degree matters. What you get a degree in, it matters too. If you're not going to school to be a doctor, a lawyer, something that requires a degree, I'm be honest with you. Joke's on you. Because by the time you get out of school, the education that you didn't got over the last 4 years or 8 years, or however long it took you to get out, is outdated. And that's the truth. So what does that mean? Stop letting your education stop your education, y'all. At some point, we got to think. I got 6 kids. I would love for all 6 of my kids to go to college, but they're not taking those student loans. It doesn't make logical sense. What are you going to school for, son? We need some attorneys in our family right now. You're going to school for law, and the family's going to pay for it. We just ain't really got no choice because I ain't really playing with them with all this high interest, never ending student loan stuff. We're not doing that. Now, you didn't have this multi-million-dollar life insurance policy whole life, your whole life. So if you got to go to school and spend 100,000, that's a drop in the bucket. We'll spend 100 grand for you to go to school and get that education, so you can practice law. We need some doctors in our family. I don't care if you're a vet. Doesn't matter to me. We need doctors in our family. I'll pay for you. Your family will pay for you to go to school to become a doctor. You want to be a chef? Well, I guess we can pay for a trade school for you to learn how to be a chef. I guess we can pay for a trade to learn how for you to be a mechanic, for you to be an architect, for you to be whatever it is, something that's gonna help the family, not nobody else. Care about helping nobody else. I care about helping my last name. It used to blow my mind when I was working at the bank. We had these twins that used to work with us. What's up, Ronnie? We had these twins that used to work with us, and I'm not gonna say where they were from, but they were from another country. And their parents sent them over here to America to do what they do. They were getting a stipend every single month, y'all. They never touched their paycheck. Their mom would call me every pay period, and we would have to go through line item by line item to make sure a penny wasn't missing. I hope y'all just heard what I just said. And while they was over here, they were working at the bank, but they were going to school full time, and they were working at the bank part time. It was crazy to me, right? I didn't realize what their money was going to, because of course they paid taxes, they did all that good stuff, yeah. They didn't have no 401ks. They didn't do none of that. All their money after taxes went into the biggest insurance policy that they check would afford. All of it. And their parents sent them a stipend every month. They ain't have no bills. I hope y'all just heard what I just said. I'm gonna call the youngest twin. I'm gonna call the youngest twin. She was in school for law. The oldest twin, the one that came out first, she was in school becoming a doctor, practicing medicine. But this ain't that wasn't their dream. Their parents told them what they had to do. I never understood that. Why you just can't be whatever you want to be when you grow up? Well, this is how you stay in the position that your family's been in for the last how many ever years your family legacy has been on this planet. When you procreate, you give your kids assignments on what they need to do in order to benefit the bloodline. That's what this stuff is about, y'all. It ain't about going to school, graduating, getting a good job, finding you a significant other, creating some kids, getting a house with a white picket fit, and live happily ever after. That's not real. How many of y'all got a white picket fence around your house right now? I'm listening. How many of y'all got a happy home? My home happy, so your home can be happy. Nobody's exempt from that, right? But the fairy tale, starting with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, has all been an illusion. And it ain't stopped being an illusion because you're grown and you think you know. I would argue that you are more in an illusion than your kids because you've been programmed longer. That's the truth, y'all. So let's get into this 10-year plan, y'all. I know I've been on here kind of just, I'm telling that water got me again. That water got me having a whole bunch of energy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. So check this out, right? If you're in between blessings, meaning that you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you really want to get out of your rat race, I need you to pay attention. The beauty about these platforms that I'm on right now, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Riff Rumble, those 5 platforms, these lives are going to automatically be uploaded for replays. So as I'm going through this 10-year plan, you don't necessarily say repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. You can just go to the live and go to the section where it starts. I'm going to say we've been on live for 52 minutes now. At the 52-minute mark, you can start listening and you can just play it from there so it'll explain it back to you again. So you'll hear it again. But here's what I'm going to say. Although you might be curious on how this is going to happen, how that's going to happen, and I'm going to explain it, right? Don't doubt it until you do your research. Once you do your research, if you find out this stuff ain't real, doubt all you want. If you find, what's up, family? If you find out that this stuff is legit, don't question it no more. Go apply it. I hope that's fair enough. Don't let your education stop your education. That's just the truth. And this is the part that I want y'all to understand how people get caught up. Because a lot of people doubt things because they don't know what to believe, y'all. They just don't. And I understand. I truly understand it. So 10-year plan. For those of you that feel like you ain't got 10 years, you do. 10 years gonna fly by regardless if you do this or you don't. You blink your eye right now, and I want you to think about what were you doing when you heard about the pandemic? That was 4 years ago, y'all. That excuse is gone. So let's get into it, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you got to do is you got to stop spending your money on nonsense. Y'all done heard me say this a million times. Here's a million and one. You got to stop spending your money on nonsense. This is the reason why you stuck in your rat race, because you're spending your money on BS. Your money should only be going to 3 places, y'all. Food, no, scratch that. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Hope you caught that. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. Before all the excuses come out, let me say this. If you're not already doing this, you've been doing what you're doing all this time and you're getting the same results. You might want to try something different because what you're doing is only going to yield the same results. That's just the truth. And before somebody, nope, I did. I got my money into my 401k, and this is gonna make. I love it for you, but your 401k is just deferring your money to a later date to be taxed at a higher rate. We all know taxes are going up; they're not going down. Imagine you 65 years old, 59 and a half to be exact, and you got your 401k in your hand and you're pulling it out of your 401k, it's going to get taxed, y'all. You're not going to be penalized, but it's getting taxed. Imagine by the time you retire at 59 and a half, 65, and you decide to take your 401k. What happens if the world, America, decides and says, we're going back to 1952? If you have earned more than $200,000, in this case, then times $628,000, you're going to be taxed at 92%. You've been deferring your 401k till you 65. You got $1 million in your 401k, and you decide that you want to take your money out because you're ready for it, and now it's taxed at 92%. And now you realize you only got $180,000. What was the point? I hope y'all just picked that up. And if you think that's an unreal thing, go and look up what the taxes was in 1952. Ronald Reagan was a pretty good actor, y'all. He made $100,000 per movie. He will only do 2 movies a year. Why? Because if he made over $200,000 in a physical year, he was taxed at 92%. If he'd have made that third movie, he'd have been working for free. And you think we're not heading there? When I very first started talking about these lies, the tax was, if you made over $628,000 a year, it was at 36%. 37, I'm sorry. 37%. It just recently went up to 39%. It ain't going down, y'all. It's going up. Think. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. Hope y'all caught that. That's where your money need to go. It don't matter how much money you make. I don't care what you make. Your money need to go in those 3 places, y'all. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, land. Now, why are you putting your money in those 3 places? Let's work it backwards. Land. Why? Because they're not making no more. Land is one of the only things on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. Uh-oh. Why are you telling me about a whole life insurance policy, but you're not talking to me about the IULs? IULs is an index universal life fund. It's attached to the market. So you can yield a lot more money with that IUL, sure, but it's fees associated with those IULs. So that means if the market is down like it is right now, you still got to pay them fees while you losing money. That doesn't make sense. That whole life insurance policy, you put money into it. And it's going up at a slower rate, but it's always going up. Think. Not only that, you get compound interest on this money as well, tax free. Your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the insurance policy you can get. You get it? Why basic living expenses? Because you got to have a place to live. You got to put clothes on your back. You got to be able to put food in your mouth. You got to have water. I drink water and mind my business. Think. This stuff is bigger than you. Now, while you're putting your money there, guess what's happening? Over time, you're going to put yourself in a position to where you couldn't even imagine working for somebody else for the rest of your life. I'll explain. The median income right now is about $57,000 a year in America. Everybody and mama tell you they make 100 grand a year. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a happy medium. Let's say you brought home somewhere around about, after taxes, you brought home somewhere around about $60,000 a year. 60. $60,000 a year. That's what you bring home. It's not a lot of money at all, y'all. But it's enough money for you to get by, right? If you put your money into those three places, that $60,000 you bring home, here's how it will look. I gotta say this for the internet. Here's an example on how it will look. $35,000 is going to basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. $35,000 is going into basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. That's going to leave you with $25,000. 15 grand is going to the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford. Once again, your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the insurance policy you can get. That last $10,000, we're going to be extreme tonight. You're going to go buy 2 acres of land. 2. Watch this. If you're doing this over the next 10 years, what will happen? I'll explain. If you're doing this over the next 10 years, you will have acquired 20 acres of land. Notice I ain't saying that about using your credit. Notice I ain't saying that about borrowing from a family member. Notice I ain't saying that about partnering with nobody. I ain't saying that about a course. You will own 20 acres of land. We're not talking about tax deeds. We're not talking about even foreclosures. We're not talking about none of that. We are talking about you will own 20 acres of land outright from what you bring home today. Hope y'all caught that. That 15 grand that you've been putting into your life insurance policy over the last 10 years, that's been getting compound interest tax free, you'll have at least $200,000 in there minimally that you can borrow against and pay yourself back with interest. People that make $100,000 a year ain't even had $100,000 at one time. I hope y'all just caught that. So what are you gonna do in this example? You're gonna borrow that $200,000 for that whole life insurance policy. You're gonna take an acre. Notice I said an acre, not a half. You're gonna take an acre of land, and you're gonna build on that acre of land, 1 acre. You're gonna build flat out a single family home. Notice I ain't saying a modern duplex no more, y'all. I'm saying a single family home. I'm being extreme, but watch this. This is what's wild about what I share. As a person that then built 29 homes out of his own pocket, I know whatever the value of the home is, it normally takes half of the price to build a property. So if I take that 200,000 and I build me a single family home, I got me a property minimally worth 400 grand, and I'm still lowballing. So if I got this home and I done built this home, and I got a house now worth 400 grand, I done took that 200 grand, built it, it's worth $400,000. What you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rent it out. Now I ain't gonna say no 4 bedroom, a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 car garage, new construction house, right now today, 30 minutes outside of the major city. How much is the rent? I'm in Georgia. If you went right now and you went to go rent a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 car garage, new construction house, 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, you easily spending $3,000 right now. Easily spending 3 grand. I don't know what state y'all in, but I don't think it's that much cheaper, y'all. And I could be wrong. Let's be extreme and say you spending $2,000 a month on that property, which I don't know where that exists at, on no home. Put in the chat how much is the rent where you live at 30 minutes outside of the city for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, new construction, 2 garage home 30 minutes outside of the city. How much is the rent? 1,900? Okay. $5 grand easy. I get it. 4,500. People got all type of number. 1,200 bucks. I don't know where you live at. Let me ask the question though. How much the rent gonna be in 10 years? When you ready to start renting as a landlord, how much is that rent on that 3-bedroom? Because it's gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 car garage, new construction 10 years from now. That's when you're building it, y'all. How much the rent gonna be at that point? Easily double. Easily double. Think. What does that mean, boys and girls? Now you got a property, $3 grand in Georgia, they paying $6,000 a month. Make that make sense. I might be a little generous. I might say, you know what? I ain't gonna charge you $6,000 out the gate on this new property. I'm gonna charge you $5,000. Take $1,000 off. I'm the cheapest, nicest property in the neighborhood. $5 grand a month. I'm gonna rent it out. What you think I'm gonna do at that point? Now I'm gonna go to the bank and I'm gonna get this smooth little mortgage on here. The bank gonna look at me and say, "You an investor? We can do it. Looks like your home is worth a little bit over 400 grand. Let's call it $400,000. You gonna have to put 20% down. 20%? That's $80,000. Good thing I got it in equity. That means I'm gonna have me a smooth mortgage of $320,000. Imagine that. But that ain't the beauty. The beauty is you ain't got no loan on that property. So who getting that $320,000? You. Tax free that your tenant's paying back. Uh-oh. Now I got $320,000 this hand tax free. I was bringing home $60,000 a year. What that mortgage gonna look like? What that mortgage gonna look like? Anybody want to guess? What that mortgage look like? We're gonna call it $3 grand for the sake of argument. I'm only charging $5,000 for rent. That means I got $3,000 going to the mortgage that the tenant paying, $2,000 in my hand. It ain't taxed out the gate. Why? I got to get what's called a return of your capital first. You know, the $80,000 in equity that I put down. Think about that for a second. Just think. He says, need step by step. That's what I'm sharing, family. Step by step. I'm building out a course. Don't worry. If you need more detail on that, you can buy that course. But right now, you're getting it for free. Got to pick which one works for you, family. If I got $320,000 in this hand, and the remaining of my $5,000, I got $2,000 in this hand, it's lights out, game over. How do I know it's lights out, game over? I got 19 more acres left, y'all. I got 19 more acres left. What you think I'm gonna do at this point? I'm gonna do this 19 more times. So you're telling me if I do this a total of 20 times, and every time that I do this, not only am I gonna get this 320 tax free, I got my 200 grand back that it took me to build, plus an extra $120,000 on top of that. If I do some quick math here, $120,000 times 20, if I carry that one, Carry that. That's $2.4 million tax free. What job you got making this type of money? What business you got making this type of money? I'm listening. What work did you do? You ain't building a house. You not no builder. Think. You getting that? You straight up and down gonna hire a property manager. The money's gonna go when they deposit when they go to your website that you're gonna have built to pay their rent. It's going directly to your bank. Your property manager never touching that. You just paying them off of the tenant. They just going by to check on the property. $2.4 million in this hand, tax free. And y'all just got that for free. I believe this is the reason why I keep getting kicked off of social media. And I could be wrong, y'all. I really can be. But this stuff is wild. Because I'm not telling y'all a concept that I'm just magically pulling out the side of my head. I just told y'all what I did. So it'd be mind blowing to me when people they don't get out of their own way to change their own life when that's what they want to do. I almost forgot, y'all. How did I forget that? Oh my goodness. There's more. You remember that $2,000 on this side over here, that one tax out the gate, because you got to get that return on capital first? You also getting that 20 times as well. Now, we could do that quick math if y'all want to, but 20 times $2,000 is what, boys and girls? $40,000 a month on top of the $2.4 million. Now, you were making $60,000, bringing home $60,000 a year. Now you're clearing 40 grand a month on top of the $2.4 million. What job, what business you got making this type of money? I'm listening. What course you didn't bought to give you that type of bread? It's not even a real. This is the reason why I said I'm going to build out this course. Because the one thing I know for sure, if I build out this course the way my team is about to build out this course for me, giving you detailed step by step on how to do this, and you're going to pay for it. If you apply it, you're going to get the results. Because it's not really another way around it. Because if you buy land, you're making money on it. Even if you don't do nothing with it. It's going up in value, guaranteed. Because it only goes up in value. It don't go up and down. It just goes up. If you put money into that whole life insurance policy, at the very least, you're making compound interest on the money tax free that you can borrow against and pay yourself back with interest. Well, let's review this. You need land. Everything goes back to the land, including you. As much as I'll be like, man, the insurance policy is a product, and it is, y'all, you gonna leave this planet. If you got the ability to tap into your fully vested amount money while you're living, that's a benefit. And then when you leave this planet, if you have the ability to leave your children's an inheritance, that's a benefit. And if you're doing the process and you're training your kids on this so they can train their kids, nobody else in your bloodline will have to work. This is why this stuff is wild. This stuff is worth billions. And I'm giving it to people for free. For now, I'm still going to be giving it for free even after the course go up. Because I want people to make a decision. How much is it worth to you? Free ain't good enough no more. Free is, if you give it to me for free, it must not be worth nothing. This stuff is wild, y'all. I appreciate your family. I appreciate you for real. But I think realistically, I think what it is though, what we really just gotta understand is we gotta stop falling for all the distractions, all the illusions. I know people been, the live earlier today, people trying to get me to talk about politics. I don't care nothing about none of this stuff, y'all. I want you to care about what you care about. You care about that stuff, you care about it. Don't be mad at me for not telling you who I'm voting for. That ain't your business. Don't be on social media debating with people about who they should vote for and all this other stuff. Stop doing all the debate and just go vote when it's time. Do your business. And whoever believe what you believe, hopefully y'all all believe the same thing, so y'all all can get the person that y'all want. And once you got the person that you want, let me know if your life changed. The odd thing about this election, which is pretty interesting, and a little bit of a head scratcher that people ain't even, I ain't heard too many people say this. Not even one really. Right now we have Biden in office, right? For over the last almost 4 years now, he's been in office. Shout out to him. But before that, we had Trump, Mr. Trump in office, right? He was in there for 4 years too. So no matter who you debate against on how the person that you want to vote for is better, both of them been in office. How has your life changed over the last 8 years? I'm listening. We've experienced both. So for everybody, all the Biden supporters that's telling the Trump supporters he gonna do this, he gonna do this. Well, why he didn't do that the 4 years he was in office? All the Trump supporters that's telling the Biden people he gonna do this and he gonna do that. Why? How has your life changed with any one of them? You still had to go to work today, right? You still can't be late past that 5 minute grace period, can you? You still sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in this rat race. How has your life changed? This is the hair scratcher that I get when people ask me about this political thing. Your life ain't changed, yo. How do I know this? You're still out here searching, trying to figure out how you can do this, how you can do something different than what you're doing. You gotta wake up. It's really just that simple. You gotta stop fighting for other people's last name and start fighting for your own last name. That's the truth. And when you understand how to truly fight for your last name, a lot of this stuff realistically, it won't even matter no more. As a person that's been on this planet for 47 years, this stuff is really becoming easier and easier every single day. People are, well, you ain't all wrinkled up. I see a few grays coming in here now. Why you ain't fully gray yet? Why you ain't all wrinkled up? You look young. I ain't stressed. Stress is doing it to you. When I was at Bank of America, I was stressed out. My hair was falling out. It's coming back a little bit now, y'all. My hair done came back. I ain't all grayed all over. I had got a big old stomach. Imagine a skinny fat boy with a gym in his house. Fat, obese. A skinny fat boy. Where they do that at? I got a gym in my crib. How am I obese with a gym at my crib? I'm 6'3", walking around here, every bit of 270, 280 pounds. Easy. All stomach. When I became wealthy, the last 4.5 years, I'm proud to say I'm down to a 189. Still 6'3", 189. That belly gone. Why? I ain't stressed. That hormone called cortisol that blocks fat burning. ain't in my way no more. I'm able to pay attention what I'm putting in my body. I'm on a water fast for these last 4 days. Something different. Think, y'all. Why can I? How do you have the time to come up with all this stuff? I got time to think. As long as I was in survival mode, I couldn't think. There's a study out there that says when they were studying these animals, they were in survival mode and they don't think. When you at your job, you can't think. You're in survival mode. This is the reason why you feel so stressed out. This is why you feel like the world is crumbling. Everything is bad. It ain't that bad, y'all. Life is a beautiful thing when you spend it with the people that you care about and love the most. So I said we're gonna be on here all night, y'all. I wanted to pop on here for a short period of time. We've been on here for about an hour and 20 minutes. Shout out to the 5 platforms again that's on here. Shout out to YouTube, Instagram, yep, Facebook, Real Rumble. Shout out to y'all. I'm probably gonna look at people been telling me I need to get a Discord. I'm probably gonna tap into it. I play around with Discord a little bit, but I don't know. We gonna see how that works. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get one. Maybe if I do, I'll let y'all know what it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be something around what I got going, and I'll let y'all know about it. Keep y'all posted on it. But for those people that did follow me over from TikTok, I'm gonna give TikTok a little bit of a breather, y'all. They I the rules that they got in their house right now, I can't really. I don't agree with them. So being that I don't agree with them, I just ain't gonna be in their house. So if you want to tap in with your boy, you can tap in with me on Instagram at Zabo103. You can tap in with me on YouTube at Zabo103. You can tap in with me on Facebook at Xavier Gibson. Riff Rumble Zabo103. Hopefully it works out. For sure. In the meantime, what I will tell you is if you got excited about what you heard tonight, go research it. Please. The replays will be on all these platforms that you're on right now. Go listen to the replays and go research this stuff, y'all. Once you see that's legit, apply it in your life. I promise you your future self will thank you. In the meantime, look, y'all be good or have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.